Hello.
Hello, world.
Hello.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, Canada.
Hello, America. How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we just talked.
I know. I feel like we're talking more now than we did before the pandemic. So,
I know, right?
I feel like COVID's a lot like that. I feel like I'm hanging out a lot more with my family than I did pre-COVID.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's strange, man. I don't know.
It is strange. I sent out a newsletter today, just kind of like letting people know what the schedule for this is, because we actually made like a proper schedule. And then what we've like added to the Patreon page so that people know what they can get access to if they want to become patrons. And then also Madeline's video. And in the like first little bit, I was like, okay, what's been kind of happening over the past like 2 weeks since I sent the last one out? And I was like, not like a whole lot. I feel like we've been really like slow. Like everything just kind of feels slow. And and I don't really hate it. Like I'm not mad at it.
No.
It's strange because I think that there's I hate to say some like positives coming from this in like slowing down and sort of being forced to reevaluate some things and whatnot. But I don't know how to best put it because obviously like I don't know. Talking about this in terms of there being positives seems like so horribly wrong.
I feel the same way. It like is a real mind F.
Yeah.
For
sure.
But I think that it does mean that if that's the way that I'm feeling, then maybe there are some things that I need to adjust in the way that I operate my day to day. And I shouldn't ignore those things just because the situation is grim.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I know, it's weird. How's it going south of the border?
You know, it is what it is.
It looks like you got your press functioning.
Yeah, it's I'm printing.
Yay!
It's in action. I'm waiting on one part that I could have identified that I was missing like the first day I got it here, and I just somehow overlooked it. So I was like all ready to like ink up and get the press going that night, and then I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm missing this one little screw, and considering the circumstances, things are a bit slower in that regard as well. So
Yeah.
hey Anna.
But at least you're in the States, so it's likely that the part is coming from the States. Unlike when you try to order something up here, it's like, it'll be here June 25th. And you're like, oh, I guess I'll do that next season.
Yeah. I can't complain. It's just like, it's something for the inking system. So like, I'm just inking by hand, like, most people, instead of letting the press do it for me.
Right.
So it could be worse.
It could be worse.
It's a minor inconvenience.
Can we see it? Can we see the difference?
Yeah. I have to hide my prints that I've laid out here so I don't reveal too early.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Bear with me.
Oh, it looks nice out. Look how green everything is.
Yeah, it's really nice
here.
Like
leaves on trees.
It's supposed to become like a snowstorm this weekend though, so we'll see. All right. Here we are.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It looks so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that like all the brass bits that we could see when we were there were like more obviously brass looking in this feed because it is just such a nice press.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
It is. How does it feel working on it?
Feels good. I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm being very careful using it for some reason. It's not like it's been in service for like 50 years, 60 years, 70 years or something. And like, this is the kind of press I've been working on forever, but I'm scared to like scratch it,
Well, it's like new to you.
It is new.
I feel that way about our presses, even though we've been using them for a long time. I'm like, want to be very delicate and baby them and, yeah.
Not dirty them.
Yeah. No, but I like dropped something and like chipped off some of the new paint and I was like, oh, it's all right now. Like, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid, right?
Yeah. The new car syndrome. It is like new car syndrome. But I've never owned a new car, but I'm like, I suspect that it's like that. I feel like the car that we have now is the nicest car we've ever had ever.
And it came with a little bit of rust.
Yeah. I feel
That's a sweet ride.
I've always owned a car that, like, if someone, like, threw their door open in a parking lot and, like, dinged my door, I would be like, yeah, whatever, that's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Which is something that I think makes my life in car land a lot less stressful, because I don't have to, like, be angry if I come and there's, like, a tiny little scratch on something.
Not at all.
I think that's a blessing.
Yeah. I forget what, we were watching some, like, Instagram video of, like, a new, like, what was that car that was, like, had super cool doors, and it was, like, it was so fancy. It was, like, a lovely British person
I don't know.
talking to us about
She,
it.
like, reviews cars, and so she's always reviewing, like, the craziest and the newest cars, and...
But it looked like a cell phone, like a matte, it was, like, a matte, like, rose gold color car. That was, like, maybe it was a Mercedes?
Maybe. Like...
It was ridiculous, but
also... It was
also...
a very beautiful car. It was, like, so space age, but...
Yeah. She also was wearing new sneakers, and there was, like, a giant empty room that she was doing the, like, review in, and it was so, like, loud all the time she was walking around. I was so distracted by sneaker noise. It did have DeLorean-like doors, in the sense that they sort of, like,
did,
open.
like, one of those.
Yeah. It was a sexy
nice.
car.
Who is this Sea Star Spring?
Oh, that's our friend Cecilia. She's amazing. She was chatting. She was the one that was speaking in German yesterday.
Yeah, she was involved in the plot to kidnap me, right? Is that?
Yes. Yeah. For cookies. It was for a good reason.
Of course.
Yeah.
I should have, like, brought my cookies to, like, eat during our conversation.
Yeah, that would have been really kind of you. The cookie baker kidnapper. Exactly. See?
Pleasure to meet you, Cecilia.
All right. Should we get down to it?
So,
yeah, let me get my prints again. I moved them across the room.
Welcome to Flat Files. This is our 6th episode. We are remotely in Josh Dannin's studio, who runs and owns Directangle Press. Flat Files is a kind of a sharing. I don't know. It's not a podcast.
No, it's like a show and tell, visual show and tell.
So we're gonna share 3 works. Josh is gonna share a couple works, and we're just gonna talk about some art for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to start, or do you want us to start today?
Oh man, I'll start. Sure.
Sweet.
Why not? So this is really hard. I feel like I didn't know what I was getting into last time, and kind of just like I felt good about my choices last time, but now I was like, man, this is like super difficult.
Well, I don't know if you've watched a couple of the last ones, but people are cheating. They're showing more than 3.
Well, maybe I'm going to show 4 then, because we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Okay.
I kept my alternates in the pile here. Okay. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how my camera is going to be situated. All right. Piece number 1.
Ooh.
This is a woodcut self-portrait by Barry O'Keefe, who is a good friend of mine from graduate school, amazing printmaker, painter, carpenter, baker, cook, jack of all trades, based out of Richmond, Virginia.
I feel like I recognize him. Have I maybe met him?
I'm sure. Yeah, you've met Barry for sure.
Okay.
Barry's amazing in all ways, and the story behind this print is kind of funny. I think I might have got this. He was a year after me in grad school, so I think I might have got this on my way out of finishing up grad school at Ohio University. When Barry applied to the program, the grads that are already in get to like kind of look through the applications and where the portfolio is, just to get excited about all the cool stuff and see some art.
Oh, sweet! I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I assume they still do that. I don't know if it's done like that everywhere, but at OU, we got to take a look at some stuff. And this was one of the pieces in Barry's portfolio, and I remember all of us kind of like having this moment of like gasping at the simultaneous sort of simplicity in beautiful, clean, black and white woodcut, and also just like it feeling completely breathtaking in some way. And when the time came a couple years later, I think we were trading for something, or I don't remember what the story was, but I specifically asked if you had any of this print left. It's dated 2013, so that would have been like two or 3 years later at that point.
Oh, okay.
And couldn't stop thinking about it. So this is number 2 of 3 prints. So I feel super honored to have one of these.
Yeah, there's only 3 prints ever.
Yeah, and it's just like I love it so much.
It's a fantastic woodcut.
It is.
Yeah.
It feels like of a different time period.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's that like kind of like that circular mark making around those eyeballs and kind of that overlapping cuts that you kind of see in like old school engravings where like the tone is made up by kind of just making a cross-hatching pattern. It's so good. It's a fantastic little piece.
I also like when artists do self-portraits and they don't like, I feel like because we, you know, most self-portraits now are like on Instagram or whatever, some like social media platform where you're like putting on filters and you're trying to look your best and you take like 1,000 photos and you pick one. I like this because he just looks kind of scared maybe, or like a little like, I don't know, like just not enjoying the fact that he's getting a photo taken, which I just really enjoy it.
It has a bit of like how Van Gogh would like paint and make marks. Am I thinking Van Gogh? Or am I thinking The Scream?
There's something about it that has always reminded me of like Edgar Allan Poe, and I don't know why that is. But yeah, I don't know. It's totally like, it's like one of my favorite prints of all time, I feel like, and I come back to it again and again and again. I want to frame it, but then like I know Barry, you know, well, and the idea of just having like Barry like in my house all the time, I both love, but also kind of like I'm not sure about. You know, sorry Barry.
It's a weird one. We have a painting from like a friend that's like a self-portrait from university. Jonathan Stamp made this like self-portrait, and we took it, and it's a really nice painting. But it's really weird to put up like a picture of somebody just looking at you in their in the house and be like, huh.
Yeah. I wonder how other people feel about that. I feel like when it's someone you don't know and it's been like a long time since it's been made, then somehow that doesn't feel as strange. But
I also feel like it's like how the person looks. Like when it's like a real serious portrait, like this one of Barry happens to be like, he's like crazy looking at you. It's not like he's like been like working on something at a table. He's like just straight up staring at you.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like the eyes follow you as you walk by.
Yeah, exactly. It does have that kind of vibe. I had a painting like that in my room when I was really little. It was like these 2 little kids, and their eyes would totally follow me. I thought it was haunted. I was convinced. I complained about it a lot to my parents, but yet somehow never just took it out of my room. I'm not sure.
This is the last thing about this that I love is that it's just signed Barry. Of course it's backwards for you, but it's you know, beautiful.
It's perfect.
Oh, but this comes back to our conversation about crazy signatures and illegible signatures and people just writing their name on stuff.
Yeah. Living in Russia.
So Barry O'Keefe.
Yeah. Did you see this last comment?
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't know. Anna might know this. I think Barry might be fluent in Russian. I know he studied Russian literature in school. I'm not sure, but he has this like incredible. He's like, all of the work he makes is just like totally brilliant. Really good stuff.
That. All right, our first one, we decided to like maybe plug one of the people that's going to be coming up on Flat File soon, and also we love this work. So this piece is by Carl Wiens. It's like a pretty old print. It's not dated.
No, I think this is like one of the APs, the artist proofs that he made while kind of doing a series around this. And I think this was like one that never made the cut for like, I don't know what reason. I imagine maybe this little blue splotch here or something. But Carl is an illustrator living in Belleville. And he often's like working from like old popular science for kids books and stuff, and like finding these old vintage like illustrations, turning them into like vectors in Illustrator, and then collaging them together to create different or new things. And so he's made like quite a lot of these like robot screen prints.
His work is so identifiable. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely got like an established style that if you know his work and you see something, you're like, yep, that's 100% Carl.
Yeah.
Well, he was working in the shop for like quite a few years with us. And he was making a lot of these like, they were kind of like little robots. And so they were, kind of what Kyle was saying, like just little collages of bits and bobs from different, like illustrations from books on like how to put together a cabinet or how to like fix a car engine or whatever. And then, so we have this one too.
Yeah.
So this one, like there's screen print, but then there's also like actual collaged bits of paper from some of the old publications in the print itself. And then all of the little components are all collaged together digitally. But a lot of his times he just has like a huge database of like scanned pages of books and magazines and that sort of thing. He does a lot of like illustration work for publications, but this is more like his personal work.
Yeah. I think as an illustrator, he was like kind of trying to bridge that gap between I make illustrations for books and publications, but I also want to make fine art stuff, and so trying to step into the world of screen printing to make more, I guess, like high-end art, quote unquote, which I think he was like pretty successful at. I don't know if he sold a ton of it or not, or if it made enough sense to continue doing financially.
But we love them.
Yeah, I remember meeting Carl. I think he was working in the studio a little bit when I was there as a resident early on.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally love his work. There's a few of those birdhouse prints of his in your kitchen, right?
Those
that
he
I
did
love it.
In his own studio with like those Gakko presses.
Oh, really?
Is that how you say that? Gakko?
I think so. Gakko, something like that.
Yeah, those are weird little presses.
Those are little Rizzo things.
Are they like? Yeah, I guess they are. That's true. Yeah, when I was like looking at how he was doing it, I was like, oh, the like light bulb part of it freaked me out.
I've never seen one actually be used like in action. I've seen like the kits, in the nice box they come in.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I didn't realize that's how they were made.
Mm-hmm. They look like a kid's toy.
Yeah.
They look like they're on the same vein as Easy Bake Ovens.
Yeah,
yeah.
Man,
I always wanted one of those.
Oven. So bad. I never got one. Probably hindsight, it's good because I think that just makes trash food, and it's essentially just a toaster oven, right? Like a low-end toaster oven.
Cooking with a light bulb.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Carl's work is awesome, and he's really great, and we're excited to chat with him because it's been a while.
Is he next
That's
week?
great.
Or the week after?
Next week, the 15th. Yeah.
I was excited to see his name on the schedule.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
We're gonna have a chat on Saturday about like how this all works. But it's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is low stakes.
Yeah. All right. What's
what do you
next?
got for us?
All right. So next in line here, this is an artist book made by Ashley Fuchs, who's a graphic designer, artist, and letterpress printer currently out of Bozeman, Montana. And Ashley was here at Direct Angle Press in early January as our first juried artist in residence that Chrissy and Kyle here helped selected.
That was fun.
And this is what Ashley made during her stay here. So she produced, this is a letterpress, and partially letterpress, partially risograph printed. What is it called? It's a fan, I think it's called a fan bound book. So it kind of opens fancy up. It's one sheet that has multiple folds here, but it also opens up like as one, it's one continuous, it's actually two pieces bound together, but it becomes one.
Okay.
Kind of a hard thing to display.
So if you hold it to the whatever hand you're primarily holding it with, that's like closest to the flat files behind you, that's like the side where we can see the most.
Sorry, guys.
If that makes any sense. Okay, so this is like technically the front, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so do you know what these like little symbols are that are on the bottom? Did she talk to you about those things? Because her artist statement was really cool, I remember. And she did a lot of work with like researching and with institutions, right?
She's done a lot of research on, and I think this relates to that, on rising sea levels and cities that are, I think, well, there are many, but cities that are particularly at high risk of, incurring serious issues as the sea level rises. This particular book here is based on Miami. So there, I think that the symbols, which are made out of bits of wood type, kind of come together to represent things maybe related to, I don't know, I guess sea levels and different things, architectural with mapping. And to be honest, I don't know too much about what each one resembles, but there are little maps throughout here. I think the colors sort of reference that a little bit, so I'll zoom in a little bit on some of these.
That's cool. So this part is Rizo, like the maps and stuff?
Yeah, so there are, I think, 4 colors of Rizo in here. Maybe 5. She used a mint green, which you can see kind of that light, it kind of looks like a pale blue.
Yep.
There's a federal blue, which is a dark blue. There's a pine green, which you kind of see in that photograph there.
Yep.
Let's see. As you go inside, there's a melon color, so you can see maps there.
Oh, yeah.
All the black is letterpress printed.
Okay.
And then there are sections. Let me find a good example. I don't know if you can see, it's really subtle, but there are sections in here. There's actually a white layer of Rizo printed partially over the black.
Okay, yep.
It's really subtle. You can see it a bit on the cover as well. There's really subtle kind of overlays there.
Yeah.
So this is like one of those things that like each time I look at it in person, it's kind of more things get revealed because there's a lot of kind of surface elements happening with the ink.
It's nice the Rizo with the woodcut combination because the like texture of it's so different.
Yeah, there's a really nice kind of balance here.
And the way she lays out a page is so interesting. Like just
really
that
cool
gradient that's on top over top of the photograph.
Yeah,
really
there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. It was pretty fascinating. I mean, she was like super prepared with a lot of material to work with in a pretty short period of time in 3 days.
Right.
But also like doing a lot of improvisation and responding to things that were happening as they printed, which was really cool.
I love the value scale too. Someone was just saying that. It's like, it's really...
Yeah, there's some really neat ways that, like, she's handled the composition of it that, like, I'm just incapable of working in that way.
Well, yeah. I think, like, we were talking about your piece last time, and just, like, that confidence in, like white space and not, like, overcrowding and just being, like, confident in the elements that you put down on the page. And I feel like this is like that too, just like, I don't know, it has like a lot of information, but it's also delivered in a very like particular and kind of quiet way, which is really beautiful. Yeah,
there's definitely like, I think there's room for play here, but there's also a lot of intentionality, like looking at the back cover even, the way that one element overhangs the spine there.
Yeah.
And then even just kind of the wood type at the bottom there.
It's so great.
This definitely like speaks to the kind of work that I'm really into.
Yeah.
Could you open it up again? And we could see like the big broadside that's been printed.
So when you open it up entirely, it becomes this.
Oh, okay.
So it has like the map on the other side and then moving into other maps and then there's this page. Neat.
Yeah, and then on the back, which you can only see depending on how you view it, there's a little bit of a gap there, but there's also stuff on both sides.
That's
because this would be, I guess, the middle section's inside, tucked in.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on here in like
There's
one
a ton
kind of
going
object.
on in this print.
There is.
It's really cool. So yeah, Ashley Fuchs.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Folds up nice too.
Yeah, there's something very satisfying about that fold.
Yeah, I had never really seen something put together quite this way before. Like it has a spine even, like the way it's, you know, it's just kind of.
It's so good.
Man, okay, show that again. This is something I love about like design is like that small consideration for that double fold in the spine. It's like, yeah, that warms my heart.
Yeah, it was cool. We have in my apartment there's a second bedroom where the resident artists stay, and there's like a little bindery kind of set up in there. So one of the things in there is a manual creaser that you can kind of set up stops and do like basically paper scoring. And I showed it to Ashley, and I think like overnight between her finishing the printing and leaving like at 5 a.m. the next morning, she scored like 100 copies of this book and then brought out like a few mock-ups, and then by the time she left in the morning, like had left a few copies done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was like completely off the wall.
Man,
That's commitment.
I want a paper score.
I know. Maybe we can add that to our list of things.
I could talk about those all day. You let me know.
Maybe we'll have to start doing another meetup where we just talk about, you know, little print shop things that we love, or maybe that we have and we don't know how to use. That's another fun topic.
Yeah, like our foil press.
Yeah, don't know how to use it. Maybe that'll be another fun watch us live try to figure something out.
Oh yeah,
that
sounds great.
Show that guy.
I'm gonna just show it like this. Wait, does it look like a piece of white paper or something?
Maybe a black piece of paper or something?
Something. So this, I'm trying to go through the house and pull out things that aren't just prints because, you know, we have a lot of people here that aren't printmakers. And I was mentioning yesterday when I was like drawing on Instagram that, you know, obviously more printmakers leave things than painters or sculptors or musicians because, you know, if you're making one single painting, you're not going to leave it with us. And that makes sense. And we don't actually ask anybody to leave anything with us. I know a lot of print shops do that. And, you know, obviously we love it when it happens, but we also, we get that we have like a lot of people staying with us, so we don't want to kind of force. I don't think that's actually helping, Kyle. I think it's making it worse. It's just better by itself. But this little snake is made with like air drying clay, and it's by a Toronto artist. Her name is Lisa Vanin, and when she was here, I think that Lisa was with us for like maybe 2 weeks, maybe 1 week. It wasn't a super long amount of time, but she made like just so much stuff. It was, I think
it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, I always feel surprised at like how much people can create in a period of time. But yeah, so she came because she wanted to like learn screen print. So she was kind of going around to different shops in Ontario, learning different printmaking processes. But she's a painter primarily, an illustrator, and she was also making like a bunch of these little clay sculptures. So everything is kind of inspired by nature. She's like a amateur forager, and she like is constantly like going on walks and being inspired by what's around her. And then obviously like kind of folk art history as well. Yeah, her pieces are like a little bit like spooky and moody, and feature a lot of like female figures, but they also they're dense with information and little bits of story, and they're gorgeous. I wish I had one of her paintings because they're unreal. Like I just love them so much. But this little snake, it just makes me so happy. It's like,
that's great.
Kind of got a little smile, and it feels really good. Like the weight of it is really nice, and this clay is kind of like surprising, and I love the like patterning that's on it. It almost feels like a porcelain, you know, piece, but yeah.
So you said it's air cured?
Yeah. So it kind of feels like Fimo clay-ish, like when you touch it.
It feels like if I dropped it, it's going to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
See, I feel like it feels more plasticky than that.
It feels very light.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to test the shatter option,
don't
but
test the shatter option.
yeah, just like we have like that little flower wall in the mudroom, and yeah, she just chills. She just chills in there with all the plants, and when I'm watering plants, it just puts a smile on my face to see this little snake hanging out.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's her other work like? Does it have a similar kind of like structure with the blue mark making?
No, the paintings are like full color. Like they're a bit more like earthy tones, so it's a lot of like sap greens, browns, like yeah, probably like more that kind of blue than a lighter blue, and it's usually of like some female form in like a wilderness type scenario. But there's a lot of, I hate the word whimsical, and I don't want to use it, but for some reason I'm like lacking more words.
You can use the word.
But it's more interesting than that. I feel like whimsical is like hitting a place that is not, like I think that her work has more to it than whimsy. It's like a bit moody, a bit dramatic, and there's often usually like...
Yeah, whimsical's maybe not how to describe it.
No, it's like they're a little bit like...
But I'm pretty bad at English, so I don't really know what word to use.
Yeah, there's something a bit more gripping. Like it feels like you're being told a story, and kind of like that piece that you were just showing, like the more you look at them, like there's more little subtle indicators of like where she might have been when she was doing things, like what kind of plants she chose to put in the piece, and the folklore that maybe she was inspired by, because she just like adds a lot of kind of like patterning and delicate details that just say a lot more than like a, just like a nice illustration. But yeah, her work is really cool. She made some nice screen prints when she was here, but we don't have any more left because we only got a few and we sold them because we were selling her work. But there's a few on her website, I think, still. And yeah, I would strongly advise checking her out. I'll find some work and I'll share some like pictures that I have of her pieces, like her painted pieces, when I post after this. Yeah.
Cool.
Because she's awesome.
I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah.
So, welcome everybody. In case you're just joining, this is called Flat Files. This is episode 6. We are talking to Josh Dannin of Direct Angle Press, and Flat Files is just when we share a couple of our own works from our drawers, and Josh shares a couple of his, and we talk about art for an hour.
Yeah, an hour-ish.
Hour-ish.
Yeah. Our internet is going in and out, or your internet is going in and out?
I think it might be Cecilia's internet.
Okay. That's annoying.
Wherever she is.
Rural internet, let me tell you. It is...
The plight?
It is not cool.
No.
All right, what's your next one?
All right. Let's see. This is one of my favorites.
So we both shown 2 pieces.
Okay. This is a screen print by a Chicago-based artist named Ethan D'Ercole. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. D'Ercole. D''E''R''C''O''E.
Amazing.
So, I'm sorry.
There's some arts that I'm like scared to show because I feel like I'm gonna wreck people's names.
I'll admit that before getting on here, I was listening to different pronunciations of that spelling, and I decided that none of them seemed to fit Ethan, so I'm not quite sure.
But like my name, if you looked up the pronunciation, you'd find the right way, and then you'd be like, Chrissy does not ever say her name like that.
Yeah.
This one is awesome.
So Ethan is a screen printer based out of Chicago, and we met, I don't know, I want to say in 2016. One of my best buddies and frequent collaborators, Todd Irwin's based out of Chicago, and I go there often to participate in the Chicago Printmakers Guild Publishers Fairs. And I met Ethan there in 2016 at the first fair, and I've followed his work since. And the cool thing about Ethan's work, besides it being totally beautiful, is that it's all hand-cut rubylith and old zipatones. So this is totally computer-free.
What's a zipatone?
So old like screen tones like would have been used for comics or design. So you can see like the hatch marks and
oh dear God, is it just a sheet of halftones that you have to cut out into shapes and like stitch in?
I'm in love with
more
this.
or less, yeah.
It is the equivalent of like Letraset for
It is.
halftones.
That's
my God.
exactly
People
what it is.
send hearts if you're loving this as much as I'm loving this.
Yeah, so Ethan, I don't know for a fact, but I'm fairly certain that almost, if not all of his work is all hand cut ruby lith for each layer, and in conjunction with these zipatones or half screen tone sheets, Letraset, that kind of thing. And there's all kinds of great details in here. If you look, I have to bend it a little bit. If you look on the roof of this building, there's a little guy mowing the lawn.
That's amazing.
There's a little person on this roof down here.
This print, do you know this person, or did you?
Yeah, so we met in Chicago at a publisher's fair, and we traded some work, and Ethan's one of those people that I feel like everything he makes I want. So it took me like, 2 hours to decide what from his table I was gonna like leave with, and also travel back east with.
Yeah.
This is just one of those things that
so great.
Yeah, it's very, very solid print.
Love this. I love the colors. Can you bring the top part of it a bit closer? Yeah.
So this is it's only 3 colors. So like there's lighter tones or just, with the zipatone sheets. And he has a really great way of handling composition and color and tones and all kinds of good stuff. Yeah,
this is just making me so happy. I want one now. That little lawnmower guy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, I highly recommend digging into. He has a great portfolio of work, and it's all like full of little surprises and.
Is there something in the windows on that front building?
Oh, it looks like there's somebody maybe in a bath there.
Oh, yeah.
And then people sitting down at a table here. Sorry, this is like a horrible way of displaying this work.
Well,
I think it's a great way. I think
we're doing the best we can with this platform, but people aren't getting to show their work in spaces right now, so at least it's being shown. That's like a win.
It is a win.
Oh
yeah,
my
there's
gosh,
all kinds of little things.
Love it. I like that there's like some people that are really pronounced in that green, and then other people are a little bit more subdued, almost like a curtain is drawn in the red. It's just so clever.
Yeah.
Oh, Leanne, this would work perfect in your living room. That's no joke. You should probably buy one. And then also, you can get one for me for my birthday. Just kidding, though, because you're the kind of person that would actually, like, do something that sweet. You do not need to buy me art. I just feel like it's important for me to make that clear. I love you so much.
This is one of those things that's been, like, on deck to be on the wall in my living room for a while now, but it's 1 inch off of, like, a standard frame size. Because it's a little bit of a square format, which is actually one of the things I really like about it.
Yeah.
So I have to get a frame made or make one.
You feel like someone that would make frames.
I do. It just takes a couple years.
It would look good in your living room too, actually.
Well, so in the spot that I originally planned to put this, there's another beautiful Stein and Zimmer print currently in its place, and now I can't get myself to take that down. So I have to figure out how to put them both up.
You have enough wall space.
Oh, plenty of wall space, yeah.
Oh my gosh, thanks for sharing this one. I'm like in love.
Yeah, totally awesome.
All right, what's our last one? And if you have another one, I feel like we could probably squeeze
another one,
a fourth one in for you. All right, I'll let you talk, Kyle, and I'll hold it. Am I holding it in a good spot? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There.
You might have to back it up a little bit. This print is from our friend Landon Perkins. It can take up the whole frame. I can just talk to it.
There we go.
I can't remember when I met Landon, But we met through SGC, and I think it was either you or John was like, we got to go to this exhibition. I got to introduce you to this guy. And we ended up going to like a little gallery in Atlanta, and he introduced me to this print. He was like, you have to check this out. You like this a lot. And then he introduced me to Landon, and we've become pretty solid friends since. But like this print, I just love it. Like in terms of like, yeah, it's one of my favorites in my collection. I have quite a few Landons now. Maybe I'll pull out more another day. But he makes these like screen prints that are these like kind of impossible or ridiculous machines, or things that just don't work correctly. And like there's something about them that I just really, really love. And since then, Landon, Chrissy, and I have like done a print collaboration. Landon's come up for a residency, and I think he's now back in California.
No, he's not in California. He's in Arkansas, I think.
Arkansas?
He's somewhere like in a state that I've never been to. And he just bought a house, so that's super awesome.
I saw that. Yeah. Congratulations, Landon.
Yeah, and he's going to build a studio for himself. He has great equipment that he...
Yeah, speaking of somebody who can make frames, boy can Landon make frames.
Oh yeah, he really can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you work as a museum proprietor for a while. Like.
Yeah.
But I think what I like about Landon's pieces too is he's another one of those artists that's super good at just like using the space around the piece really well. Like the strength, I mean it's hard because everything we show is backwards. Like this, there's such a strength in this like push and pull tension that's happening
like
between here and there. And the fact that there's just nothing going on anywhere in the background, but there's clearly like some like intense light source focusing on this machine that doesn't make any sense. It's like a concrete wood chipper. Well, I guess it would be called a concrete chipper. I just love the kind of like calamity and humor of it. Yeah. And the precision. When we were all printing together, I think Landon was like... I mostly was outside printing with Landon because Kyle was doing a bunch of other projects, and he and Kyle had spent most of the time like together fussing over how to like put everything compositionally together on the like digitally, and I just like stood behind them being like, what about this? What about that? Because I don't know how to do things on computers. And then I was out printing with Landon the first like... How many layers is that print?
7 or 8.
First few. And he'd be like getting so intense about like the registration. I'd be like, it's fine. Like nobody's gonna notice if it's like a frigging hair off. And he was like trying to be nice and not be like, Chrissy, like, please go away. You're just way too relaxed about this, and that is not my jam.
Yes.
So on the like last layer, like the key layer,
I think it took us like 2 hours to register.
He like kindly asked me to go inside and bring Kyle outside. Because he knew that Kyle was going to share in his like fuss tardiness about how
we were like registering the last layer with like a 14 times magnification loop and like verifying it at multiple points, taping it down, like make sure it doesn't move, and like it pays off. Boy, both him and I share that like same kind of like fussiness.
We're never gonna get this print done because these two are gonna like every print is gonna be an AP and.
Hey man, that print, we knocked out that print from like we sat down collaboratively on a Friday, and I think by Sunday night we had knocked it out and printed 100. And like
it's a great print.
Like, with coloring and everything. Maybe it was a long weekend. I think it was a long weekend.
Yeah. Well, and Landon had started the process with like sending like a base thing to work with, and then I had a base thing to work with, and you had a base thing to work with. So we came in with some drawings done. It was just the like putting
still,
it all
30
together.
Hours of Photoshop in a weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Landon's work is awesome, and he is awesome and just really like cute and nice, and we like him.
Yeah, I'll pull in another Landon like maybe next month.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll just space them out.
Yeah.
We'll space out our Landon collection.
I think I have some Landons in this this little setup here as well. All right, we doing another one?
Go for it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
All right, let's see.
Hearts if you want to see one more print from Josh. Oh, look. Sage has joined us. You better show us Sage. No, you showed us Sage last time, I think.
All right. This is like, I don't know. This is one of my favorite prints, but I don't know if this is necessarily reminiscent of the artist's larger body of work, but I think it is at the same time. So this is a poster that was designed for a spring advising lunch in grad school by
advising
Todd
lunch?
Irwin.
Oh, I know exactly what
just to promote the event.
This is why I want this print so bad too. This is another on my. I've wanted this print since you showed it to me.
Yeah, so Todd just kind of ended up designing posters for most everything that he possibly could on campus when we were in grad school, and they're all like multicolored screen prints, and they're all awesome. This is one of my favorites. So I've somehow ended up with a near complete set of all these posters, and a lot of them relate to food. This, I think, it has. We have some tater tots, some chicken nuggets, some chocolate chip cookies. I don't know what this is. It's either an orange or it's like just some kind of
orange.
A roll, maybe.
It looks like an orange with that little navel button.
Yeah, I feel like that's your
this
fruit
color
component.
This is like so good. It is everything.
Hospital.
Yes. Like the dipping sauce being black too is like, yep.
It's fantastic. It's just like everything I want in a print. So Todd Irwin, he runs Bitmap Press in Chicago, and we also work on Power Washer Zine together. So if you happen to be at Southern Graphics Conference last year, you might have eaten the sandwich that we printed for you.
I did not.
They were delicious.
We saw you print sandwiches, but we chose not to eat those sandwiches.
I just couldn't. My germophobia was like through the roof with that. Watching that experience, I was like, no, I can't. This is so great, though.
Yeah.
Is it weird that like I kind of want to eat this lunch, even though?
Yes.
Like it has
look at those tater tots. Those tater tots look gross,
but also great.
I know. Kind of want tater tots.
Here, so this is cheating, but just because I have them here, I'm going to show you these other food-related Todd prints that are right next to me.
Sage, you said you asked for one. Does that mean that you never successfully got one?
I think so.
This is thematically consistent. So we have, this is for the School of Art welcome party, and it's pieces of chicken.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And then this is for a ceramics brat contest.
A ceramics brat contest? What is...
I should explain that a little bit better. The ceramics program. The ceramics program at Ohio University has an annual brat making competition called the Brat Off. And,
like actual edible ones or like out of ceramics? Oh, okay.
No, they're edible, but they make trophies that are ceramic brats or brat adjacent things for the winners. And they bring in a visiting artist, ceramicist every year to jury.
Uh-oh, I think he's frozen. He'll come back. Uh-oh, we're frozen. Uh-oh. Hopefully we come back.
Are all the things that are good in the world in screen print and food form.
I just love them.
Mm-hmm.
I just love them so much. I don't think Todd is here, but...
Maybe we should reach out to Todd, and then Todd could be a member of Flat Files at a later date. Because
I think Todd would be a great...
what's in his Flat Files.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd has a great Flat File collection, for sure.
Amazing. Oh, thanks, buddy. This was a good selection. I feel like we're gonna make you a regular because you like helped us make this little series come true. And
through peer pressure.
We also just we peer pressured you, yes. You would never peer pressure us. That's just not who you are. No. But I will peer pressure you to do things on the internet, yes. But yeah, it's just like, I love seeing what you have in your collection because it's just so wonderful. And Yeah, I feel like every time I see things that I haven't seen before, which is great.
It's so much fun.
All right, well, enjoy your weekend.
Me too.
And we'll talk to you again soon. And thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us. And thanks everybody for joining us and chatting and sending little hearts. Like, all of that means like a lot to know that people are out there and listening and sharing in this experience with all of us. So yeah.
In case you've missed a bunch of these, if you become a Patreon member, you can review all of our old flat files on our Patreon page.
Yeah.
And we'll be posting pictures of these on your feed again, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. So the artist contact information will be on there. I think somebody might have asked about the book artist I shared before, who's Ashley Fuchs, but we'll post a picture.
Yeah, exactly. We'll post a picture and links. So
cool.
all of that will be there. I should probably add that actually to the past flat files in the Patreon, like all the people that we've mentioned with links.
That this weekend.
So I'll do that. I'll go back through the Patreon videos and I'll make sure that all the artists are linked with their websites so that the content is all there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's a lot of fun.
Bye, Instagram land.
Bye.